Drugs can break the mind. Mental pain can push people to drugs. It's a cycle. But here is the truth: recovery is possible and help exists. You are not alone. Welcome to Your Health, a program made for you on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Today on Your Health, we'll focus our conversation on two huge concerns: drugs and mental health. And we spoke with an expert, a mental health therapist, that told us so much more concerning this very issue, this very concern. Let's see the benefits of this little tiny benefit of clubs together. Happy learning. Imagine awesome benefits. Imagine that cloves can actually take care of toothache. Interesting. I'm sure with these benefits, now you know how to use cloves. If it's not in your kitchen already, you get it because your kitchen needs it. It is time for us to now connect to our mental health therapist that spoke to us concerning this very issue: drugs and mental health. Please stay connected here.
So when we talk about substance or drug abuse, we are looking at an individual who engages in psychoactive substances that impairs a sense of affect, meaning that that individual uses that substance and is not able to make rational decision. For an individual not to be able to make rational decision means that his sense of judgment, which is also related to his mental state, is being impaired at that point in time. So there are different reasons why an individual may likely want to use substance. Some reasons could be mental health challenges. Some reasons could be not mental health challenges. So we are looking at factors like trauma related. We are looking at individuals using substance that are not mental health related. So for some individuals, when they use this substance, psychoactive substances, it predisposes experiencing psychosis, hallucination. When we're talking about hallucination, there are different types of hallucination. We have olfactory hallucination. We have, in fact, all your senses. We have tactile hallucination. We have visual hallucination. We have different types of hallucination. So hallucination is present. We have delusion. One of the commonest delusion we have, and most persons don't know. I'm not saying most persons have mental health condition, but questions like, do you know who I am? Even though people know who you are, they tend to rate themselves. And so delusion happens in different forms: delusion of grandeur or delusion of grandiosity. There are different forms of delusion. And some persons also experience depersonalization. Depersonalization in the sense that it's as a result of the use of a substance. And like I said, hallucination is there, delusion is there, and sometimes you're seeing yourself in some other person, and you're saying that this person is you, and you were dead long time ago. So why is this person existing as you? I mean, conversations or talks that are really not so for individuals that are stable mentally, that they really don't look at it as conversation that one should have with such an individual. So the last one is distorted thought pattern or communication. So an individual is saying something, and the next thing he jumps on to something else. So for we as practitioners, we look at these are the pro and environmental factor. Be generic. If I'm going to be generic in my approach to the warning signs, then I'm going to say that for substance use, you should look out for the individual who barely do not communicate, who who barely loves to keep things or information to himself, who barely interact with other people, who loves to numb feelings. We are looking at individuals who are not stable. And mind you, there are individuals that are hyperactive. So they use substance to make them to be calm. So if you notice that your child or your loved one has HDAD and the individual is always hyperactive, and all of a sudden you realize that this individual is calm, then you should begin to look out for it. There are individuals that have a time frame for the substance that they use. Some individuals call it morning glory. From 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. is when they begin to use the substance. And so from that early morning time, pay attention to the behavior and understand how that individual has been behaving over time before that time. For some individuals, they use the substance. Like I said, I'm not going to use generic approach because there are different individuals with different approaches. So identify that individual and know the behavior that that individual has been exhibiting before time, and know the behavior. Try to compare. And if it's something that you can compare, then you now begin to understand that it's either that individual is having one emotional challenge or the other, or is experiencing something that he or she is not communicating. And so for individuals that are using substance, when you're able to identify such individuals, we should bring them closer to ourselves, and help them not to be able to see that recovery is not possible. Because I like to say that recovery is a lifetime journey. And I know that an individual who is already addicted, we don't like to use the word addict. So, but for the sake of this, I'm just going to use the word. For an individual who a brain relapsing disorder, meaning that that individual may not even know why he or she is doing it. Some individuals start using substance because of a problem, a mental health problem, or some challenges that they couldn't solve, but they think that I am trying to numb my emotion from one emotional problem, and I'm now using substance as a way out. If I'm using substance as a way out, which is an unhealthy coping mechanism, I am now going to now begin to see substance as the main problem if I have insight, because I am already individuals who experience addiction are individuals that really need help, and they need help. Aside drug abuse and mental health, they are already affecting a lot of people, and side by side with drug abuse is really affecting the mental health state of young individuals, and not just young individuals, the general population that we have. There are a lot of factors. We are looking at family dynamics, you're looking at social media, we are looking at the environment. If I'm going to digress, with the individual, look at family dynamics today. Family dynamics is one of the reasons why these individuals can't even open up, because both parents are not together, or both parents are working, they don't have family time with these loved ones, and even if they do, they're always judging, they're always attacking, they're always call they are always focusing on discipline and not listening. So when we don't listen enough, and for the sake of this program, I'm going to talk about just the three A's of active listening for parents to be able to understand. The first A is paying attention. When you pay attention to what the person is saying, not what the person is not saying, but when you pay attention to what the person is saying, you will have the right attitude to be able to address that situation. And that's the second A, attitude. And when he is saying, the person could be saying that I started using substance because my friend introduced me to substance, or because this auntie or this uncle introduced me to this. I should not be quick to judge that individual. I should be able to adjust and say, okay, what this person is saying, I'm listening to what this person is saying. I should have the right attitude. Then finally, I should be able to adjust to what the person is saying by, okay, so now you have this problem. This is how we are going to do it. You're not alone. You are in this together. Giving assurance to that individual makes that individual to now begin to look at it and say, oh, I'm not alone in recovery. There's someone that is there. Mind you, there are individuals that may go a long time without using substance, and there are stages of relapse. You have emotional stage, mental stage, and the physical stage. So if the emotional care is not there for family members, to render emotional care, that individual may not even see the need, because they are, in fact, they don't even, for those that don't have insight, they don't see the reason why they should change. I mean, that substance is already part of their lifestyle, it's already part of them. So factors like family dynamics, environment, peer influence. Do we really have control? We can only talk about drug demand reduction, and which is why I kudos to NDLA. They are doing a lot to that, because if you're talking about control, I mean the drugs are littered everywhere. The ones that are licit, like cigarettes. Cigarette is illicit substance. Alcohol is illicit substance, and these are gateway substances. So when we are talking about control for substance, we cannot totally control, because there are some substances that are very hard to quit. Like cigarette is one of the hardest substances to quit. You can't say don't smoke cigarettes when the roadside trader sells cigarettes. So we can only say let's cut down the reduction of these illicit substances. And when you're psychoeducating individuals who use this substance, and you're saying that this substance is bad for your health, they say, how about cigarettes that has this components or this ingredient in it? And I can also get this ingredient in cola nuts. I'm not going to mention the ingredients because of this, but they can also get this ingredient in cola nut too, and I can also get this ingredient. So why are you now saying I shouldn't smoke? Why are you now saying that I shouldn't do this? So the best is don't even start in the first place. We should always have this conscious state that drug abuse is something that affects not just our mental state, but also our physical state too. But so if we understand this concept, it helps us to be able to pass down the message to not just ourselves, but people around us, by telling them that the A, there's B, and there's C. The A is the antecedent. Always understand every problem that will lead to covert and overt behavior. So behaviors don't just manifest itself. It comes from how we feel and how we think. So it is now the components of how we feel and how we think that translates into that behavior. And for every behavior that we engage in, there's always a consequence. It's bad, you get punishment from it. Meaning that no one is going to no one is going to get a cane to flog you and say that you taking so substance, be punished. No, the substance has its own effect in that individual's life. Meaning that managing people who are into substance abuse is not easy, because not a lot of persons have that patience and time to see that an individual have stayed away from substance for a week or two and have a lapse. A lapse is a single use, a relapse is like continuous use, and now come back to tell you that I have used substance, so after being clean for like a month. Not everybody always have access to finances. If money is a trigger, also we also need to identify triggers for those individuals. So we wear out, choose life, and say no to drugs.
Thank you very much for all of those teaching. I told you earlier that you're not alone, that help is possible, recovery also exists. So many things. Please stay here with us. Amazing things. Thank you very much for all of those facts on Did You Know segment. Okay, it's still your health on NT Channel 5 Abuja, a program made for you in case you're just joining. It is time for us to check out our health tips for today. Happy learning. you grab a thing or two that you're going to implement concerning your health, because your health is your biggest asset. You need to pamper your health and take care of it. With that, we have come to the end of the program today, Your Health, a program made for you. I want to thank our mental health therapists for all of those explanations and teachings. I'm not forgetting you for staying tuned and learning, and I'm sure you're going to implement something from what you've grabbed today. It is true that you're not alone. Help exists. Recovery is possible, so don't feel lonely. My name is Uloma Ive. It's a wrap on Your Health today. Have a fantastic day ahead. Good morning.